Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and I'm just going to do a quick video because I had a little bit of an epiphany just a little bit ago. I wanted to do another review. A lot came out this week, but yeah, as you know, I put out a video late last night, and I'm on call. I grabbed about 5 hours of sleep before work started calling. I've already been to the office twice today, so it's kind of a busy Saturday morning for a change. But anyway, on my first time to the office this morning, I stopped by 7-Eleven to grab a cup of coffee. And there was a woman in line ahead of me. And she was buying, I saw some sodas, I think she was getting cigarettes. And then she grabbed a box of Paczkis. Now, I know the pronunciation is closer to Paczki, but if you didn't know it, the Detroit area has a pretty big Polish community. And Paczkis, or like I said, properly pronounced Paczki, are these like fried donut things. They're ungodly delicious. Imagine like a oversized jelly-filled donut, and they have Bavarian cream, and you can get them frosted or glazed. I like the powdered, like lemon and raspberry ones. But they're really big. They're full of calories. They're uber sweet, and I don't even really have a sweet tooth. More of a bagel type person, but these things are really popular around Fat Tuesday, and so in this area, it's you're going to see it in the news. There's always every year they talk about, it's Paczki Day coming up, and the best places, go to Hamtramck. They will get the best ones, but all the places, the Kroger stores, the Meyer stores, they'll all have them. So 7-Eleven had a box. They had a bunch of boxes of them with their donuts, and a woman tried to buy a box, and the cashier told her, I'm sorry, we can't sell those until Tuesday. And the customer looked at her like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, we can't sell those until Tuesday. And the customer asked, well, wait, why have them out? I want to buy these, you have them with the regular donuts. And the cashier said, I don't know, I was just told we cannot sell them until Tuesday. And so she ended up getting really annoyed, the customer that is. And she said, you know what, I need to go somewhere else. I guess she was getting some cigarettes for her husband. They did not even have in stock. She says, I'm just going to go somewhere else, and canceled her order. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? Well, as you see here, we have Bounding into Comics. Here, I'll scroll up a little bit. A bunch of people have done videos about this speech, and I'm not going to go into that. Everyone else I shouldn't say everyone else, but a lot of other people have covered it and have done a pretty good job of it. But basically, during a thing in Chicago, a retailer summit, ComicPRO, the keynote, the opening speech was Brian Hibbs. He's a comic shop retailer talking about problems with the industry. And he has a 10-point plan to save, and it goes in. I suggest reading this. It's a pretty good article, and he makes some great points. And like I said, others have done videos on this, so maybe I'll link some in the description. But this got me thinking about the Paczkis. You see, what we have going on, and a lot of us that are doing videos, that we do reviews, that we end up getting just hammered as being whatever ist or what have you. Because we kind of push back, that we say that, right now the industry is garbage. I'm old enough to remember when, as the industry was getting bigger, when no one knew who the X-Men were, and now they have movies. I remember when the 90s came around, and you had million copies, being sold of books, and it wasn't even, just like a strange occurrence. It was pretty much a new X-Men would get, $1 million. When Image launched, Youngblood sold like 1 million copies, and there's a lot of hubris that led to where we're at now. But the industry could still come back. There is no reason when you have a multi-million dollar movie industry. What is the total MCU? I mean, if you take all the movies, they've made billions of dollars, literally with a B, billions of dollars. So why is the comic industry dying? There is no reason for this. And so I thought about the Paczki thing. Um, and what we have is people who they want good comics. They don't want to be preached to, want to go back to where it was. Yeah, you can touch on political themes. You can show either side, but you don't want to, sorry, the bird, during daylight. You don't want to insult your customers. And, as you know, I reviewed Harley Quinn, what was that, issue 53, 54, where they just blatantly ripped on their customers. And of course, they want more diversity in the industry. They want more diversity in the fans. They want to bring in more women. There have always been women. They want to bring in more blacks, more Latinos, whatever minority. They've always been there. And there's nothing wrong with bringing in more customers. And let's be honest, the industry has been supported by people that look like this. Older white dudes. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with this. Um, and instead of pushing, like, we don't want you anymore. We don't want you. We want to go after this audience. There is room for everyone. You don't need to chase away customers. You don't want to push away the people that have been propping up your industry for so long. And I have mentioned this on other videos, and this isn't really any new grounds that I'm covering here, and I understand that. Um, there's enough room for all of us. But you don't need to say, okay, like Brie Larson's comments about who she wants to critique her films. I can see what she's saying. Do I agree? No. I think she phrased it really poorly. But that's the mentality we have right now with a lot of the industry. A lot of these people that they want to be, quote, so woke that they want to push away their whole core audience. And it's not about white people. I mean, you see my skin color. Come on. I've been called everything from Hispanic to Japanese to Indian to Arabic. It's obvious I'm not white, and I don't have a problem with any of these characters when they if Steve Rogers is white, I don't care. That's never ever been a thought to me. I've never given it a thought. I thought, hey, is he a cool guy? Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like him. And I just pulled Steve Rogers out, off the top of my head here, for no particular reason. So he talks about the 10-point plan to save the comic industry. And a lot of it is from the business side. And there's some good ideas. They're a little in the weeds, I think, because obviously this is retailer to retailer. But he does call out a number of issues with the way Marvel, for example, does things. The first 3 issues of any new series should be fully, no free, no hoop, returnable. This could probably stop all these stupid reboots every time. Captain Marvel is up to... I just bought another one-shot Captain Marvel this week. Synergy for the movie, I'm sure, but I've literally lost count of how many number ones she's had in the past 5 to 7 years. She's got to be up to 6 or 7. Because first issues always sell better than, it's a gradual slope. You go back through history, and if you go through comics guides, you'll see that a lot of times, the first issue may have a big, a big bump in sales, but it's the second and third issues that end up selling, that end up being worth more, because they weren't ordered as much. Everyone bought, Youngblood #1. I'm just pulling that out. I don't have the facts in front of me. But how many people bought Youngblood #3? Maybe quite a bit. Maybe it's not the best example, but you see where I'm going with this. The point I'm getting to here is that we have people that want to buy comics. That's where this whole Comicsgate thing comes from. And when your boy Zach tried to sell his comic, they told him, make your own. If you want to critique us, make your own. Do something better. And when he did, well, there's a lawsuit going on, so I don't want to actually say that Mark Waid conspired, but that's the way it looks. He made a call to Antarctic Press. Suddenly, Antarctic Press, cancels the deal. And what happened? Zach went with his own Indiegogo, and what was it, $400,000? It was some huge amount. Maybe I'm conflating him and um, even Van Skyvers, but still, we're talking six-figure sales, and it was only like, what was it, 30,000 people roughly that ordered it. Um, there is an audience out there, and this isn't just a three-issue book. I mean, the minimum was what, $25? There is an audience. Why are you pushing them away? It's not just the retailers. It's not just Marvel. It's not just Diamond. It's the entire industry. So you're wondering why I brought up that 7-Eleven story. Like I said, I picked up the coffee on the way to work, and I was kind of replaying the scene in my head. It was kind of a interesting thing. Here's a woman. They put out a product. She tries to buy it. Excuse me, and they tell her, no, we're not going to sell it to you. You got to wait 3 days before you could buy it. And what happens? Imagine 3-day-old donuts. The same thing happens to Paczkis. They're nasty. They're hard. They're basically non-edible. So what 7-Eleven did was not give the customer what they wanted. And when they try to sell, I just kicked something over. When they try to sell these Paczkis on Tuesday, it's going to be a worthless product. It's going to be nasty. No one is going to like it. That is what we're seeing in the comics industry. Instead of giving people what they want, the industry is giving people what they want to give them. It's on their terms. And that's one of the big problems. There's some neat plans in here. He has some good ideas. But it's not going to make that much of a difference, unfortunately. We're going to see more people, more businesses go under because it's the mindset. The mindset is flawed. Everyone from the creators to some of the retailers, unfortunately, like I said, my backup comic shop, they're really great people. They tend to push some of the, I'll give Maneaters, for example. They pushed that really hard. That was one of their big books that they pushed. And, they put it in their flyers. And then I found out just last week, they're not even reading it. So what exactly is going on? They're not giving the customer what they want. They're trying to give them 3-day-old Paczkis and telling them that they'll like it. That is the problem we have with the industry. So anyway, just a few rambling thoughts. My bird's getting pretty pissed off. I'm going to try and get some more videos up here a little bit today. I'm getting called back into work. So, but I just wanted to throw that out there. If you wonder why sometimes we get so hard on these things, we don't ask for much. We just want entertaining stories. We want to escape. And instead, we get a lot of the garbage where we get talked down to, we get insulted. And then they wonder why the industry is collapsing. Because you're giving us 3-day-old Paczkis. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with more videos. Have any comments, feel free to leave them below. And I will talk to you later. And my bird's just going to keep yelling. Alright, see ya.